I think if Trump had sent out the checks early, and if he had been a little more skillful in pushing the FDA to approve the vaccines, rather than making it into a big public fight, he would have been reelected. Voters held COVID against him less than I would have thought. And Trump had other weaknesses, which are fairly obvious, but they didn't seem to surface in the parts of the country with the biggest COVID problems. So that was a reason why some people voted against him, but not that major a factor. So the notion that some people would rally around the flag, as I had predicted, I don't think was a crazy thing to have said. And I think, as we saw, Trump came very close to winning, with other decisions being just a bit different. Definitely think he would have won. I do think the progressive left really has, as an intellectual force, faded from the scene much more than people now admit. So people give me grief about that prediction all the time. I think it's looking very good. If you read the full prediction I made, including in our dialogue, but also in a Bloomberg column, I said, we're going to get a lot more statism, right? We're going to get a lot less libertarian thought.
Bigger government.
It's not going to be packaged in a culturally left-wing woke manner, and that the forces of woke had peaked. And what we were due for was simply a lot of statism. And if you look at the Biden administration, how well Warren and Sanders did in the primaries, to me, that prediction's looking very good. And I haven't seen many cities defund their police. Looking forward, I think we're going to be a highly weird country where the progressive left is one force, but never in charge. So that I'll double down on.
Okay. What about the cultural scene? Our bailiwick of universities, cultural left seems to be quite powerful in lots of places.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on where that's headed in terms of so-called cancel culture and so on? We're outside of COVID right now, obviously.
Sure. Well, you have more outlets than ever before. I mean, Substack is one example of many. So I'm not sure that how many things actually get canceled. So those 4 Dr. Seuss books, which, by the way, are just six. Oh, I'm sorry. Not continuing the publication.
It's 50% worse than you thought.
Exactly. I'd never heard of all but one of those books. And it was the owner of the intellectual property rights who decided to stop them. If I owned those property rights, I might have done the same thing just to avoid the headache. And then the notion that you take revenge on the cancelers by buying more copies of their books seems to me just a weird episode. We have diverse discourse. There's a lot of ideas out there. There's podcasting. There's Clubhouse. There's many more things you can do and reach people. So I'm not as pessimistic as are a lot of people I know.